What an audience, what a panel, and what a beautiful collection of minds. Thank you, Saudi Retail Forum team. Thank you, Images ME, for this great opportunity to get us all together, all this energy. It's absolutely incredible. So I'd like to start by introducing myself. My name is Basel, and I lead marketing for Saudi and for retail across Middle East, North Africa. I have the absolute pleasure of moderating this panel here with a great collection of minds who have bold ambitions to transform the retail landscape in Saudi. As we all know, the Saudi retail landscape has been evolving over the past years. We know that this year is about to close at $133 billion. That's around 1.4 times that of the UAE retail market. At Google, we've looked at retail-related queries, and we've seen incredible growth. We've seen around 19% year-over-year growth in retail-related queries, and that's on billions of queries each year. So you can see all that energy that's happening in Saudi. Now, all of this can also be attributed to a lot of the accomplishments of Vision 2030. So maybe let's start there. So I'd love to start with you, Dr. Günther. From your experience, you've led large organizations. You've led organizations like Müller in Germany. You've also led Aldi across Europe. So you have a wealth of expertise, and I'm sure these organizations were intertwined within the German economy and the European economy. As your role as CEO of Cenomi Retail, how do you see Cenomi or retail contributing to the Saudi economy and also to Vision 2030?
Thanks for the question. First of all, a warm welcome from my side, and thanks for the invite for being here in my hometown. The last time I've been with you together in Dubai. Now it's like a home game. And Saudi Arabia is massively changing to the positive, and it's opening up in so difficult and different ways. It's actually quite the opposite of Europe. If you want to compare me Europe with what's going on in the Middle East, especially in Saudi Arabia, on the one hand, it's the workforce. On the other hand, it's retail in general. And retail is, for me, the mirror of society, because what you see in retail is actually mirrors what's going on in daily life. And when you look especially at the Cenomi stores, what you see, the change over the last years is when you look at the workforce. So female workforce are entering the labor market, and they have a massive positive change to everything what we're doing. And this is, I think, quite new to the country, quite new to what's going on, and the growth and managing the growth and everything which with it's going alongside is the challenge.
That's incredible. Retail definitely contributes to the workforce, and it's incredible what you're doing with Cenomi to also empower the female workforce and also providing career opportunities. Now over to you, Fred. You've worked across 10 different countries. You've managed and led organizations large and small. Most recently, you were the CEO of Carrefour. You've had enormous accomplishments across all this. Now, as your role as CEO of Raya supermarkets, I'd also love to understand how Raya is contributing to Vision 2030.
Well, thank you for your question, Basil. I think the first thing is jobs. Jobs for Saudi, as all my colleagues here in the room, we have contributed. Maybe retail is the first employer in the kingdom, the first employer of Saudi young people, and also more than the 1,000 of jobs that we have created for Saudis. I think we have, beyond statistics, we have changed the life of many women. You know, just 10 years ago, you had so many women that had no experience whatsoever of life in the corporate world, that had no independence in terms of revenues. And today, thanks to retail, and not only Raya, but many of my colleagues here, today they are store managers, they are key executives in different companies, they have founded their own companies, they own their apartment or their house, so that's a massive change of life for them. And I think that retail has been one of the key contributors to this change. So that's the first contribution, I would say. Another contribution as far as Raya is concerned is sustainability. You know, food accounts for about 30% of green gas emission, but actually if you are able to collect vegetables at the farm, you bring that down to about 11%. So that's a huge gain for the planet. And we at Raya, we are working very hard to source our produce and fruits in the closest farms to our stores in order to reduce these footprints and also bring more freshness to our customers at a lower price. Then I would say Vision 2030 is about diversification from oil, which means one is logistics, and today we subcontract our logistics to one of the top 10 players in the world in logistics. So we help them expand their footprint in Saudi Arabia, and that makes us also more professional in the way we manage our merchandise flow. And finally, I think that one important aspect is industry. And today, for all our private label, we first search about the know-how that exists within the kingdom for food. And then only if we cannot find within Saudi Arabia, then we go abroad to source our private label. So that helps us contribute to the local industry.
Seems you have a very busy agenda each day. So you got across the supply chain from the workforce to the production to the logistics internationally. So Majed, over to you. I mean, if you look, you founded a lot of companies, you have deep expertise, and you've also been labeled as a visionary in your field, because in 2015, you were the first pioneers of grocery delivery. So you founded your technology company, you partnered with Danube, and you launched Danube online. So I'd love to understand from you, since 2015 till now, there's been a lot of changes in consumer behavior, there's been a lot of digitization. So can you share with us any observations of the consumer from 2015 till now in 2023?
Yes, sure. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. The thing about the market, it's evolving quite fast. And you need to be agile and flexible to adapt new technologies, new approaches. The thing with providing good customer service is that you always raise the standards, you always raise the bar. Then expectations will grow. Then you have to always keep adapting to the new changes. We would like to be very close to our customers. We do a lot of workshops, including our customers. We invite them to actually hear from them are we offering the right service? Is there something we can do to improve? So we've seen that in retail, the more tailored service you do, the more loyal your customers will be. So understanding the data, understanding shopper behavior is very key to retaining your customer. You can do a lot of acquisition campaigns. You can acquire a lot of customers. But if you do not understand the shopper behavior, if you don't analyze the data that you get from your customers, it will be very difficult to retain. So by analyzing the data, we really retain our customer. Conversion rate will grow very high. Tools are growing really fast. We have very powerful tools. You have a lot of solutions in the market that makes you really understand the shopper behavior. So for me, shopper behavior is key, and being flexible and adapting to changes is also a very, very strategic move in any growing retail business, especially when you're part of a big group. We're part of Bin Dawood Holding. It's a listed group. It's a brick and mortar stores. So digitizing such a group is also very difficult in terms of changing the way the old-fashioned retailer thinks, but they're adapting really well. And it's the platform actually that gave us the ability to scale beyond even Saudi Arabia. It gave us the ability to explore all the other, you can say, options in the retail market, because we're part of a very big listed group. And you get the strength of a group, and then you get the flexibility of the youth that are joining the group. So this is, in this combination, you can grow any startup. That's why we start a lot of companies, and we do this a lot.
That's incredible. I mean, it definitely comes with its challenges, working with only a brick and mortar and then bringing them to the digital age. Digitizing that operation definitely comes with a lot of challenges. But I think the key point here is around the consumer and how the consumer has evolved from 2015 to now, expecting digital solutions and expecting the modernization that we now see. So I'd like to go back to you, Günther, for an additional question. And out of curiosity, you've worked across Germany and Saudi right now. Have you spotted any similarities or differences across the Saudi consumer or the German or European consumer?
For sure, there are similarities, but there are also big differences. But it's always the question, what kind of consumer you have in mind. If you have the luxury consumer in mind who shops globally in luxury brands, if you have the consumer in mind who is only going, or not only, who is going for his groceries. But I think when you come from the outside like me, you have a wrong perception about the Saudi customer. And this is, I think, what I quickly adapted, because the Saudi customer is very into quality, very into customer service, and also, like the European one, looking for the best deal. So being very cost conscious. So this wrong perception what maybe Western guys, or especially European guys, have, that cost doesn't pay any attention here, is totally wrong. So consumers really look, where do I get the best deal? This is, I think, quite crucial. If you have that in mind and have a great offer, you can be quite successful. But the challenge what the kingdom is maybe facing is, for sure, when you look at, we discussed that beforehand, at neighboring countries, when it comes to how you want to attract the consumers to spend the money within the kingdom and not to travel, because a lot of Saudis travel, and 40% of their spendings are being abroad, either in the UAE or in Europe, and that's because of different reasons. Tax is one of them, but I think as we speak, this will be changing, and this will, and on another side, boost the spending here in Saudi Arabia. So I'm quite positive when it comes to the outlook. But from an overall point of view, and especially when you look into fashion, I think the Saudi consumers, especially the female consumers, are more into fashion than the Europeans. It also sounds awkward, but the knowledge, the questions, when I look at the customer service center, what kind of questions are we receiving there, we really understand that there is a deep knowledge of fashion, a very high interest into it, more than in Europe.
That's absolutely incredible. I mean, I can tell from the fashion sense here in the room that that's the case. But it's also very interesting because I think the kingdom has been working on making sure a lot of the spend of the citizens here is also spent here. And I think that's a big mandate of the Entertainment Authority, but that also comes with its challenges to the retail industry, as now there's competition on where to spend that real. So is it on entertainment, is it on retail? Because previously it would have been on retail. Now, Ronny, you've skipped the brick and mortar space. You launched a pure e-commerce player and had incredible success in this. So you've built Golden Scent to become the largest beauty or perfume e-commerce player in the region. Now, that also comes with its challenges, because across these years, there's been different consumer expectations of digital and how you deliver the best service. So I'd love to understand from you, how do you keep up with this constant change? How do you understand your consumer better? Because you have almost like real-time feedback being a pure player.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Basel, yes, I mean, we started 10 years ago. We were one of the first e-commerce players from Saudi Arabia. So we are, since that time, I would say, always at the forefront of the digitalization and in e-commerce. So we've seen tremendous change over the last 10 years. When we started, customers used to shop from desktop. That changed very quickly. I think we launched in 2014, and then by 2015, 16, already 80% of customers shopped mobile, and then maybe 2 years more, 2017, latest 2018, 90% of our business was app-driven. So this goes along with, I mean, from a consumer side, it's very easy and fast to adopt these technologies. From an organizational point of view, well, it has lots of challenges. Team members, I mean, desktop, mobile, app, I could continue mentioning more and more new technologies. It's a constant change. Yeah? Technology is like fashion. Fashion never finishes, so it's a constant evolution. Also in retail, it's a constant evolution. So as new technologies come along, there are important technologies, there are lesser important technologies. First thing, in my opinion, is to filter out what is important. So on which technologies you need to bet and you need to adopt. But within like whatever you choose or whatever you as an organization adopt, in my opinion, it's very important that your team understands and is able to use these technologies well and able to use it so well that you are able to make money with it. Yeah? And this goes along with your team members need to be, on the one hand, they need to have a great willingness to learn. I would say you need also in your organization team members that are not only having the willingness to learn, but they're really motivated to learn new technologies, adopt them. And from a management point of view, it is how to, on the one hand, incentivize, but also how to push your organization into this constant transformation, that the team is able to, and your whole organization is able to learn new technologies, use new technologies, but also then disseminate and spread the learnings within the organization.
I think my highlight from that answer is technologies like fashion. I've been working in technology for many, many years. That's the first. But I absolutely agree with you. It's constant change. So I remember at our work at Google, we had one of our first responsibilities is moving from desktop to mobile. And as we'll hear later today, I think the next biggest revolution that's happening right now is from mobile and then now into AI and how you can use AI. I think you touch upon a very interesting point, is that yes, technology evolves, but how do you make sure which technology you choose, and how do you integrate it with your organization to hit the bottom line? Because if it doesn't hit the bottom line, then the technology is not serving its purpose. So that's absolutely incredible, and a great segue to my next question to you, Fred. Ronny, you've mentioned around like organizational change, and you're a pure player with e-commerce. So one would expect that you're closer to technology, but also you have its challenges. Now, Fred, I know that you're very passionate about technology, you're passionate about transformation. As you've moved from Carrefour to Al Raya supermarkets, I know you have the mandate to also bring Al Raya to the digital age right now. So I'd love to know about your priorities over here, and if you can name maybe the top 3 priorities that you have for Al Raya supermarkets to bring them to the digital age.
Sure, thank you, Basel. Well, I would say my first priority is to build reliable and in large quantity data, because data is really the fuel of all digital. And when I started in Raya, we had very little data and mostly corrupted. So we built a team of data analysts to really build, first to refine the little data we have and to build really a data lake and be able to operate with data. So today, for example, for one item, we used to have 5 attributes. Now we have more than 43 attributes for one item. So we have grown this to a large extent, and that helps us to really analyze what's happening, get facts and orientation to grow and get better at what we are doing. And the second point is to have a digital-based organization. So, for example, we use a dedicated software for replenishment, a dedicated software for logistics. We do have task managers to help our teams understand what they should be doing when. And we use also, to a large extent, computer vision to help us understand what's going on in our stores, and business intelligence with Nielsen. And what we are doing is using these digital tools to change the culture of the company to focus on customer. So I will give you an example. For example, we have a computer vision tool that helps us highlight long wait time at counters. Let's say you go to one of our bakery and you wait more than 30 seconds, then we're going to have a flag that help us understand that you've been waiting too long, and therefore after we work on why did you wait that long. We also work on forecast of our customer numbers in our stores with artificial intelligence on our BI system that help us define how many checkouts we should have open and at what time. We use task managers to get, for example, pictures of our produce display at late night to ensure that we have a great display for late night customers. We use also computer vision to make sure that our product display are exactly like we want them to be on the shelf, and that if a product is missing, whether the product is available in the back area of the store. So that helps us to ensure that not only we have the stock available, but actually the product is on the shelf. So those are ways to use digital to change the culture of the company to focus on customer, but also obviously to generate results on the bottom line, because if we do the right thing with our customers, that helps us grow our sales.
That's also a very full agenda of things that you'd like to do. Using computer vision in that way seems absolutely incredible, and I think you started with bringing in a team of data scientists. So bringing in a team of data scientists to a grocery-focused organization is also very interesting, but also very true to the saying that data is the new oil. So thank you for sharing that. But on the note of speaking about like organizational change and moving to that, Dr. Günther, I'd like to come back to you. So you're known for turning around large organizations. You've spent about 9 months now as the CEO of Cenomi Retail. So I'd love to understand from you, what are your top priorities for Cenomi Retail to ensure future success? I would assume that would incorporate a lot of organizational change to ensure that you're set up for success in the future.
Thanks for the question. I think I want to continue what Frederic said. By all this, excitement about AI and data-driven and IT, a lot of us forget the most important tool, asset, value, what we're having in our organization is our team, is our people. And you can have the best AI. At the end of the day, a human being will make a decision on behalf of the data someone has brought to him. And coming back to your question, what is the change, what is needed? This understanding that AI is not your enemy, data is not your enemy, it just helps you to focus more on the right things. Focusing on the customer, focusing on your colleagues. And we at Cenomi, we're just implementing, I would say, not a new culture, an adopted culture, which is somehow in the DNA of the Arabian culture, which is hospitality, which is helping your friends, helping your neighbors, helping anyone to level up and become better. And that's what excites me so much when living here for 9 months, is how friendly people are. And this friendliness, this taking care of people, we just try to embed into the organization, and by doing so, something surprisingly happens. People step up and realize it's not just a job. It's I'm part of an organization, this kind of ownership mentality. I run this store. And I just want to share with you a story. We hired a young female employee, and she stepped up the career ladder within the last 3 years and became a store manager. When you now talk to her, and she works in Nachil Mall, she literally tell you, this is my store. Even though it's owned by Cenomi Retail and run by Cenomi Retail, but from her mindset, and this mindset shift makes a lot of things. Because by stepping up and having this kind of feeling of ownership, of being responsible, leads to a lot of different kind of conclusions and decisions she's making. She takes care of her team. She really takes care in the way of, she will stay or call the people who are not showing up for work. In the past, she didn't do that because she was just an employee. Now she takes care of her co-workers and asks, how are you? How can I help you? And by changing this, you create a momentum what you can't really subsidize with data or with AI. So that's one of the main focus, to really create ownership, responsibility. How we're doing that, or how I try to do that, is by putting down the responsibility to the lowest possible level. Is this risky? Yes, it's totally risky. Do we make mistakes? Yes, we do. But this kind of mentality of, you have to make mistakes and learn out of it and then improve, this is where growth happens. And that's a bit of a mindset shift, what we had in the organization, because in the past it was like, I'd rather do nothing because nothing can happen to me then. And now we have really changed it. If you're doing nothing, you're the wrong guy for us. You really have to try, you really have to try new things, and you also are allowed to fail, but as long as you're moving. And the saying what I'm having is, within the organization, the best argument wins, no matter from whom it comes. And if the cleaning lady has a smart idea, we listen to her, we take the arguments, we validate it, and if it's better than the idea what we are having it, we're just following it. Because at the end of the day, our objective is to be successful in the market, and this is shown by revenue, this is shown by EBITDA, and so on, but also by turnaround rate of employees. And we are not great at that time, to be honest, but we really as we speak, we're working on it, that really people understand we are somehow like a family, and that's a very strong word in this area of the world, I know, but by understanding your company is like a family to you, you create this sense of ownership, you create a sense of taking care of your co-workers, of your employees, and that's something what I've seen in the past, worked tremendously in any kind of turnaround and turnover, when people step up and take their role seriously by having this kind of sense of ownership.
That's incredible, and I think that's a shared theme across you, Ronny and Fred, where no matter where the technology is, it's the people in your organization that are either going to adopt or resist, or they're going to innovate, or they're going to hold you back. So it's incredible that this is actually the #1 priority, and I'm very happy to hear all of this. So over to you, Majed. You have very deep expertise in technology and the intersection between technology and retail. We've spoken about the recent innovations, we've spoken about AI and how technology has leapfrogged in the last year. What can you tell us about the technology in the upcoming years, and how can retailers integrate AI or generative AI to boost efficiency and profitability?
Okay, so agreeing with what the gentleman said, there are some technologies that we must have, and there are some technologies that we look at. So changing or being part of a change in an organization is very challenging, especially when some team members are not adopting the change. So taking the team or members out of their comfort zone and scaling their business, or scaling the business with them, is quite challenging. Talking to them closely will really help an organization grow. So we always look at the individuals as part of this overall change, because there will be some people who will not accept the change. There will be some people who will not accept going out of their comfort zone. They've been doing this for so long, and they're really comfortable doing the same thing. So they wouldn't adapt to a change. So adapting a change is a must, but it's very challenging. Right now, what's really disrupting the market is a lot of technologies, especially in the fintech area. Financial technologies is also touching the retail in many aspects. Microfinancing, point of sale financing, all these things are really changing and evolutioning the way we see retail going. So adapting to the change requires you to analyze what change you want to adapt, because you cannot just adapt a lot of changes at the same time. This is very challenging, especially in big organizations. So there are must-have technologies that we must have, and there are technologies that we look at. AI is helping, but it requires a lot of work. I truly think it's still a bit early for AI to disrupt the retail. There are other technologies that are really touching retail, especially in the fintech domain. So integrating all these together requires a lot of team effort and requires a team that will adopt the change. So the key thing here is that you should have a team that are willing to go out of their comfort zone, try new things. I always tell the team, do mistakes. I would love to come to office one day, see that a lot of mistakes are happening because you all are trying new things. So if everything is quiet, everything is normal, just checking emails and going, there is nothing evolving in the organization. So I tell them, do mistakes. We would love to solve problems. Solving problem means you're moving from one place to the other. You're taking the organization from one part to the other. Especially if your organization is working in multi-countries, multi-languages, multi-currencies, there are multi-shopper behaviors that you need to understand. You would not expect yourself to understand multi-region behavior. You need to listen to the people, and the best people to tell you is the people that are in the stores. They will tell you what your customers like and what they don't like. They will tell you what the customers are expecting and what they won't like to see. So you have to always balance, because changing comes with a price. It will hit the bottom line. Board will not like it, so you need to be, you need to just adapt the right technologies at the right time.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And Ronny, as our last question, so you've led Golden Cent through multiple technological revolutions from desktop to mobile, with the growth of e-commerce in Saudi. Now with AI, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to Golden Cent? An honest opinion.
First of all, I would like to agree that if it's too quiet in the organization, then maybe you are too slow. Yeah? So there needs to be more visible action. On AI, I mean, it's the buzzword of the year. If I follow media this year, then I get the impression that really like AI hit like a storm. So many articles, videos, coverage around AI. It's a new technology. I would say it has the potential being a game changer. It resets to a certain extent the game. We're using AI technology already, but not yet on a level where we can make or where we generate millions of it. But it has the potential that it will. It will generate millions. But again, back to the organization, as I said, like AI to a certain extent resets the game, which means whatever the team has learned in the last 5 years, some team members need to slowly learn new things, yeah? And which is this always eternal cycle of learning, adopting, making mistakes, yeah? Learning out of that again. Yeah, and from a market point of view, I would say it's also an opportunity for new market entrants, for new players to hit on that or to ride this wave and find an entrance into the retail market.
For sure. Thank you for that. And I know there's been a lot of innovation in that. I know in the fashion space, there used to be fast fashion, and now they call it real-time fashion with the advancements of AI and all that. Thank you for that. Thank you, Fred, Ronny, Günther, and Majed for this fabulous panel. I hope all of you enjoyed and it was as insightful as it was to me. And enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. We are going to have a quick group photograph before you leave. If you could stand in the middle, the photographer's just going to come ahead and we can capture each panel throughout the day.